Let me ask you something. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you see someone valuable, someone capable, someone with purpose? Because if you don't, let me tell you right now, you should. See, life will always put you in rooms where not everyone will recognize your value. Some will doubt you, some will try to diminish you, some will act like you're not enough. And the biggest mistake you can make, trying to convince them otherwise. Self-respect is the foundation upon which everything in your life is built. It is the standard you set for how you allow others to treat you, how you carry yourself, and the level of success you will achieve. When you respect yourself, you refuse to accept anything less than what you deserve. You set boundaries, you demand excellence from yourself, and you ensure that the people in your life treat you with dignity and appreciation. Too often, people seek validation from others before validating themselves. They look to society, their peers, or their workplace to define their worth. But the truth is, if you don't recognize your own value, no one else will. The way you see yourself determines the way others see you. If you constantly diminish your abilities, accept mistreatment, or lower your standards just to fit in, you send a message to the world that you are willing to settle for less. That mindset is dangerous because it allows others to dictate your worth instead of you taking control of it. Respecting yourself means understanding that you are not desperate for anyone's approval. You do not need to prove your worth to those who fail to see it. If someone underestimates you, that's their mistake, not your burden to fix. The moment you realize that self-respect is non-negotiable, you stop engaging in situations that drain your energy. You stop over-explaining yourself to those who refuse to listen. You stop holding on to people who refuse to acknowledge your presence. Walking away from places or people who do not respect you is not about arrogance or pride. It is about recognizing your value. It is about knowing that you were not put on this earth to be treated as an afterthought. When you carry yourself with self-respect, you send a message without saying a word. Your actions, your posture, your decisions, all reflect someone who knows their worth. And when people see that, they will either rise to meet your standard or they will remove themselves from your life. Either way, you win. Many people fear that walking away means losing something important. But the truth is, the only thing you lose is the illusion that those who do not value you were ever meant to be in your life. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right environments will always recognize and appreciate you. But you must first make space for them by removing yourself from places that do not serve your growth. At the end of the day, self-respect is a decision. It's a choice to demand more, to expect better, and to refuse to settle. It is about understanding that you are enough just as you are, and that anyone who fails to see that does not deserve a place in your journey. When you choose self-respect, you choose a life where you are not just seen, you are valued. And that, above all else, is what truly matters. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful realizations you can have in life. It determines how you navigate relationships, career choices, and personal growth. When you truly understand your worth, you stop settling for anything that does not align with your value. You stop seeking external validation because you already know who you are and what you bring to the table. This mindset is not about arrogance. It is about self-awareness, confidence, and a deep understanding of what you deserve. Too often, people underestimate themselves because they allow the opinions of others to shape their self-perception. They listen to voices that tell them they are not good enough, not smart enough, or not talented enough. Over time, these doubts become internalized, and they start accepting less than they deserve. But the truth is, your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion. It is not measured by how many people approve of you or how much recognition you receive. Your worth is rooted in your abilities, your character, and the effort you put into everything you do. When you know your worth, you set higher standards for yourself and for the people around you. You stop tolerating disrespect. You refuse to engage in toxic environments. You walk away from anything that does not align with the respect you have for yourself. This is not an easy process, because it requires courage. It means letting go of friendships, relationships, or jobs that do not appreciate your contributions. It means standing firm in your values even when it feels uncomfortable. But the reward for this self-awareness is a life filled with authenticity, respect, and purpose. One of the biggest misconceptions about knowing your worth is that it makes you selfish or difficult. In reality, it makes you intentional. When you truly understand what you bring to the table, you no longer feel the need to beg for a seat. You do not chase after people who do not recognize your value because you know that the right people will. You do not force yourself into spaces where you are overlooked because you know that you belong somewhere greater. Instead of proving your worth, you simply live in it, and the world adjusts accordingly. The challenge many people face is that they struggle to see their own value. They compare themselves to others, focusing on what they lack instead of embracing their strengths. But comparison is a trap that only leads to insecurity. The truth is, no one else has your unique combination of talents, experiences, and perspectives. No one else can do exactly what you do in the way that you do it. Recognizing this uniqueness is the first step toward embracing your worth. Knowing your worth changes everything. It transforms the way you carry yourself, the way you make decisions, and the way you allow others to treat you. It empowers you to walk with confidence, to demand respect, and to never settle for less than what you deserve. The moment you realize your worth, you unlock the freedom to live a life that truly reflects it. Not everyone in your life is meant to see your worth, and that is perfectly fine. The truth is, the people who fail to appreciate you are simply not your people. No matter how hard you try to prove yourself to them, they will always find a reason to overlook your value. Some people will not recognize your efforts, no matter how much you give. Others will take you for granted because they assume you will always be there. But you were not put on this earth to convince people to respect you. You were meant to be around those who see your worth without you having to explain it. It is easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from the wrong people. You may find yourself trying to fit into circles that do not appreciate your presence, or investing in relationships that do not reciprocate your energy. But when you constantly fight for a place where you are not valued, you are only harming yourself. The reality is, the right people will never make you beg for their respect. They will never treat you as an option while you make them a priority. They will recognize your worth, appreciate your efforts, and support you without hesitation. Walking away from those who do not appreciate you is not a loss, it is a gain. It is the moment you take back your time, energy, and self-respect. It allows you to create space for the people who truly see you, who value your presence, and who uplift you instead of tearing you down. Life is too short to spend it trying to win over those who do not care enough to acknowledge your value. Instead, focus on those who already do. The key to surrounding yourself with the right people is understanding that you do not have to shrink yourself to be accepted. You do not have to lower your standards just to be included. The right people will embrace you for who you are, not for who they want you to be. They will encourage your growth, celebrate your achievements, and stand by you even when times get tough. These are the relationships that add value to your life. Letting go of people who do not appreciate you may feel difficult at first, but in the long run, it is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It is a statement that says, I know my worth and I refuse to settle for less. It is a declaration that you will no longer tolerate being treated as an afterthought. When you set that standard, you attract those who respect it. You create an environment where your presence is valued, not overlooked. At the end of the day, you do not need everyone to recognize your worth, just the right ones. The people who truly belong in your life will never make you question your value. They will see you, appreciate you, and remind you every day that you are more than enough. Walking away is often seen as a sign of weakness, but in reality, it is one of the greatest demonstrations of strength. It takes courage to remove yourself from situations, relationships, or environments that do not respect or appreciate you. Too often, people stay where they are mistreated because they fear the unknown. They remain in toxic relationships because they think leaving means failure. They tolerate being undervalued at work because they believe they have no other options. But the truth is, staying where you are, not valued, is far more damaging than walking away. Choosing to leave a situation that does not serve you is not a sign of defeat. It is a declaration of self-worth. It means you have recognized that your value is not dependent on external validation. It means you refuse to accept less than what you deserve. Some people may try to convince you that leaving is giving up, but in reality it is standing up for yourself. It is refusing to waste your energy in places that do not align with your growth. It is acknowledging that you deserve better and having the strength to pursue it. Walking away does not mean you are weak. It means you have standards. It means you respect yourself enough to say, "This is not for me." It is a sign of maturity to recognize when something is not adding value to your life and having the discipline to let it go. Too often, people hold onto situations simply because they have invested time and effort. They think, "I've already put so much into this, I can't walk away now." But staying in the wrong place will never make it the right place. The longer you stay in a situation that diminishes you, the more you lose sight of your true worth. One of the most empowering things you can do is walk away from anything that does not respect, uplift, or support you. When you remove yourself from negative spaces, you create room for better opportunities, healthier relationships, and personal growth. The people and places that truly value you will never make you feel like you have to fight for their respect. They will recognize your worth effortlessly. When you learn to walk away from situations that do not serve you, you make space for those that do. It is important to remember that walking away is not about resentment or bitterness. It is not about proving a point to others. It is about proving a point to yourself. It is about choosing peace over chaos, dignity over desperation, and self-respect over convenience. Every time you walk away from something that does not align with your value, you reinforce the fact that you are in control of your own life. You are not at the mercy of others' opinions or treatment. You set the standard, and if a situation does not meet it, you have every right to leave. At the end of the day, walking away is not a loss. It is a gain. It is gaining your freedom, your self-respect, and your ability to create a life where you are truly valued. The power to choose where you stay and where you leave is one of the greatest strengths you will ever possess. Rejection is often seen as something negative, something painful, something to be feared. But what if rejection is not an end, but a redirection? What if every door that closes is simply guiding you towards something greater? Too often, people take rejection personally. They see it as proof that they are not good enough, that they have failed, or that they should give up. But rejection is not a statement about your worth. It is simply a sign that a particular path was not meant for you. Think about all the times in life when something did not go your way. Maybe you didn't get the job you wanted. Maybe a relationship ended unexpectedly. Maybe an opportunity you were counting on fell through. In the moment, it felt like a loss. It felt like something was being taken away from you. But looking back, how many of those rejections actually led you to something better? How many times did you later realize that what you thought you wanted was not what you truly needed? That is the power of redirection. When something or someone rejects you, it is easy to focus on the immediate disappointment. But instead of dwelling on what didn't work out, shift your perspective. Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? Where is this trying to lead me? Sometimes rejection is life's way of protecting you from something that was never meant for you. Other times, it is pushing you to grow beyond your current situation. Either way, it is not a failure. It is a step towards something greater. One of the biggest mistakes people make is allowing rejection to discourage them. They let one closed door convince them that no doors will open. They let one person's lack of appreciation make them question their own value. But the truth is, rejection is not the end of the road. It is simply a sign that you are meant to take a different route. The key is to keep moving, keep learning, because the moment you stop because of rejection is the moment you block yourself from the opportunities that are still ahead. The most successful people in the world have faced rejection countless times. Authors had their books rejected before they became bestsellers. Entrepreneurs had their ideas turned down before they built empires. Actors were told no hundreds of times before they landed the role that changed their lives. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Those who succeed refuse to let rejection define them. They see it as redirection, as motivation, as a necessary step on the path to something greater. Rejection is not the enemy. It is a teacher, a guide, and sometimes even a blessing in disguise. Instead of fearing it, embrace it. Trust that every closed door is leading you to a better one. Keep going, keep believing, and remember, rejection is not the end. It is just the beginning of something better. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. They influence your mindset, your energy, and even the way you see yourself. This is why it is essential to be intentional about the company you keep. If you want to grow, if you want to succeed, if you want to live a life where you are valued and respected, then you must surround yourself with those who see your worth, those who truly recognize and appreciate you. Too often, people settle for relationships and friendships that drain them rather than uplift them. They hold on to people out of familiarity, obligation, or fear of being alone, but staying in the wrong company is far worse than standing alone for a while. When you surround yourself with people who do not see your worth, you start to doubt it yourself. You begin to accept less than you deserve, tolerate disrespect, and question your own potential. This is why choosing the right people is not just important, it is necessary. The right people will push you to be better. They will remind you of your strengths, encourage your dreams, and challenge you to rise above your circumstances. These are the people who celebrate your wins, not secretly resent them. They support you not just when things are easy, but when life gets tough. They are the ones who believe in you even when you are struggling to believe in yourself. Surrounding yourself with people like this creates an environment where you can truly thrive. On the other hand, being around those who do not recognize your worth can be damaging. These are the people who belittle your achievements, discourage your ambitions, and make you feel like you are not enough. They may not do it intentionally, but their negativity, jealousy, or lack of support can slowly chip away at your confidence. And the longer you stay around people like this, the harder it becomes to see your own value. This is why you must be selective with the people you allow into your life. Pay attention to how they treat you. Do they respect your time and energy? Do they support your goals? Do they bring out the best in you? If the answer is no, then it may be time to distance yourself. It is not about cutting people off out of anger or resentment. It is about protecting your peace and prioritizing your growth. Life is too short to spend it trying to convince the wrong people of your worth. Instead, invest in relationships that uplift you. Seek out people who inspire you, who encourage you, and who remind you of your greatness. Surround yourself with those who genuinely want to see you win. When you do this, you create a life filled with positivity, support, and self-respect. As the sun sets on a Sunday, the people you keep around you will either elevate you or hold you back. Choose wisely, because you deserve to be in the company of those who see you, value you, and respect you without question. The way you carry yourself sets the tone for how others treat you. Every interaction, every relationship, and every opportunity you encounter is influenced by the standards you establish for yourself. If you accept disrespect, people will continue to disrespect you. If you tolerate being undervalued, you will keep finding yourself in situations where your worth is overlooked. But when you set a high standard for how you expect to be treated, you teach others that they must rise to meet that level, or they do not belong in your life. Many people struggle with this because they fear losing relationships, jobs, or social connections if they demand more respect. They think that if they set boundaries, they will push people away, but the truth is, anyone who truly values you will respect the standards you set. The ones who walk away when you enforce your worth were never meant to stay in the first place. You do not lose real connections by having self-respect. You lose the ones that were taking advantage of you. Your standards are not just about what you demand from others. They are also about what you allow from yourself. If you constantly downplay your achievements, speak negatively about yourself, or accept situations that make you unhappy, you are sending a message that you do not fully respect your own worth. And if you do not respect yourself, how can you expect others to? Self-worth starts from within. You must believe that you are deserving of good things: respect, love, success, and happiness. When you truly believe that, your actions will reflect it, and people will treat you accordingly. One of the most powerful things you can do is set clear boundaries. Let people know what is and is not acceptable in your life. If someone speaks to you in a way that is disrespectful, correct them. If someone repeatedly disregards your time and effort, remove yourself from that situation. Do not be afraid to stand firm in your expectations. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about ensuring that you are treated with the dignity and respect you deserve. It is important to understand that setting standards does not mean you have to be rude, aggressive, or dismissive. It simply means you have a clear understanding of your worth and you refuse to settle for less. Confidence, not arrogance, is what commands respect. When you carry yourself with certainty, when you walk into a room knowing you belong, and when you refuse to entertain anything that diminishes your value, people take notice. At the end of the day, people will treat you based on the example you set. If you allow mistreatment, it will continue. If you accept being undervalued, it will happen again. But if you demand respect through your actions, your boundaries, and your self-confidence, then only those who truly value you will remain in your life. You set the standard. You decide what is acceptable. And when you uphold those standards, you create a life where you are not just seen, but truly respected.